started. It's game number one. Let's throw it over to our casters now. Gentlemen, take it away.
We are live here, ladies and gentlemen, on the floor of Key Arena. The penultimate day of Dota about to begin, and we have a classic, or quickly becoming a classic matchup. Fnatic versus MVP, best of three. Panel seemed to slightly favor MVP based on their LAN performances in the past. How are you feeling coming in?
I think Fnatic looks so good at this tournament. Honestly, it can come down to pretty much this third game. We'll see if they lose their first game on LAN. Fnatic have yet to drop a game, as Ted was talking about on the panel, but looking at this draft right now, of course, Ohio had an immaculate day yesterday on that Sand King, looking for him to have a big performance, but we'll jump into the game, LD, and they were talking about all of this magic damage against MVP's lineup here. How do you feel about the last pick Tinker coming out for Fnatic?
It's a really good Tinker game. MVP are fairly tanky. They have a natural pipe builder in the Darkseer. But that being said, they don't have great catch for a Tinker. They don't siege objectives especially well. I think the big player who could be a factor there, it will be QO on the Slardar. He's known for going hard on this hero. He kind of popularized more of a hard carry Slardar type build. He will have Bloodlust. You can throw Ice Armor on him. Decent frontliner to hit buildings, but you just laser him, and that completely derails the ability to quickly take tower. So with MVP going for the Darkseer last pick, it gives them more face rush potential, more 5-man, but as Black pointed out, it does not give them a great high ground sieger. So in order for MVP to deal with the Tinker, it's mostly just going to come down to finding those picks on other heroes and potentially getting good wards so they can jump him from behind.
A good laning phase as well. They have that Lich to help out with, but it looks like there might be a clash at the bottom ruin spot mid one. They'll back away. He is going to be playing that Slark. He did a lot of that at the Manila Major with a lot of success as well. Of course, remember, they got Toxic there as well. So we'll see how Fnatic perform as we jump into the game. 3-4-3, the roaming Bounty Hunter, but an Ogre on the side of MVP, as they should have the Lich stapled down in one lane. He will deny the range creep down bottom to start things off. But 3-4-3 is going for that Courier snipe in the middle lane, and it's coming out right now. This is going to get the tier 3 tower.
Can't snipe a Courier at the tier 3 though, so MVP, they've played a lot against this Fnatic Bounty Hunter, and anyone at this point in the tournament is going to be very cautious. We did see Skyrise make snipe a Courier yesterday, so I almost feel like when you have those less conventional Courier sniping heroes, it's easier because it's not something your opponents are expecting, but MVP going with what's generally not the most common position for the Darkseer in the safe lane, but I do like the matchup quite a bit.
Lulu getting most of the ring pressure coming out, the pounce is there, and they need a little bit more damage as 3-3 rotated, and that's your first blood. The Bounty Hunter, he says, screw the Courier, I want the kill, and he finds it down bottom to start things off.
Yeah, man, this is the pressure Bounty Hunter puts on the game. Meanwhile, you've got Fevi just burying out a salve all the way from the base. They've committed one support for a threat that isn't even actually theirs. Yep. The hero brings a lot to the table simply by being in the game, and then if he gets killed, so much the better. So what MVP have done here is they've decided to put the Darkseer safe lane. The Slardar Lich duo is not particularly good against Sand King. You don't have too much kill potential until like level 3 or so, and costing is really annoying for Slardar. So instead they put Darkseer there. He can just push out the lane with Ion Shell, look to pull the creeps and farm that way. But Ohio's still going to get great farm in this lane. And now with the kill bottom, it looks like they're on track to win 2 lanes. So the mid lane, Mushi, currently under pressure. It's worth mentioning that it's often been mid one playing the Tinker, so this is definitely something different from Fnatic. Mushi, of course with the Slark also being picked up, being forced into a different role here. Yeah, we'll have to see how he adapts, but mid one has a sensational Tinker, so I'm curious to see if Mushi can live up to it.
Now right now he is getting pressured as you mentioned, but he has started off with some good CSing. 7 last hits right now going his way. I feel like they have to keep him down in the early game, because how do they deal with the Tinker going into the later stages of the game? I feel like it's a bit difficult for this squad.
You deal with them by not letting him just get to the late stages of the game unchecked. Like pressuring him in the laning stage, contesting his stacks, setting up traps for him around the map with when the Slardar gets his first big item or two, maybe smoke tanking where you expect him to be, and what they're doing right now. Fevi just constantly bullying him, so I like this approach from MVP. Problem is, Tinker still very good at CSing against melee heroes. Do notice Mushi saving skill points for now, so if he thinks there's a kill opportunity, he can level up the heat-seeking missile. Otherwise, more likely you just see the March of the Machines build, and he'll just focus on his economy. They have not been stacking for him yet. That is something that you can expect to see more of Fnatic as he gets leveled up.
Especially since they have this Bounty Hunter down in that bottom lane, or at least he was in that bottom lane. He's currently heading to the hard camp right now. And as you said, LD 3-4-3 will head to that large camp and stack it up so they have the March of the Machines. And that late game security coming out from Mushi later on down the road. Not to mention, He has the small experience advantage over MP for the time being. 343 rotating in there as a sentry, however. And MP should be wise to the fact that 343 is here. The laser will go out. D-Ward immediately from 343 as both sentries go down, but they have an insurance sentry on the high ground for MVP.
Yeah, keeping Febby locked in the middle lane so far is limiting the Tinker a little bit, but my big concern is Fnatic Sandy is entirely unchecked right now, and we've seen what Ohio does with a good start. Already almost level 5 here, free farming top. This guy's gonna be a problem, Mod. There are 4 melee heroes in this game already. Ohio got it done in what I would say was not the easiest sand game yesterday. So I would be concerned if I was MVP.
Absolutely, and this is a matchup that when you look at a Darkseer and you see a melee versus melee solo matchup, usually you think the Darkseer will have the edge, but Sand King out CSing the Darkseer right now with 21 last hits to the 18 of the Darkseer in Ohio. We saw what he could do yesterday with some good team fight, and they were down a lot as well in that game. So Fnatic with Ohio having a good start, that blink dagger will help out, but still look to see if 343 can get some more work done down bottom. Jubu's caught out with Frostbite. See if they can chase him down here.
Yeah, he has gone for that early point in the ice armor. It's a great value point. The move speed and attack speed slow is the same at all levels, so only the armor that scales. He'd like to pick up a lot. Limits the bounty hunter's harassment potential. Continue to dual lane mid, trying to slow down Mushi as much as possible. But the thing is, Slark is also farming. Mid 1 having a good time bottom, and the Tinker is a hero that can catch up quite easily. See 3-4-3 making a move through mid, maybe scouting for stacks here. He is going to find some.
Pretty nice to steal for the
This is something Tinker can steal, Sand King can steal, so Fnatic, I would not be surprised at all to see them go and actively contest these, especially if MVP doesn't farm them relatively soon.
343 will just block the pull, or the stack, excuse me, at the 5-minute stacking of this hard camp, and he'll just keep eyes, I think, on the Ogre in this mid lane as well. The sentries are gone. Ohio will just burrow strike and get some farm for himself.
Oh my god, he is
finale.
Destroying this lane.
Yeah, wow.
He's even gone for the 3 points in Caustic, which is a clear sign that he's not intending to leave the lane anytime soon. He just wants to continue snowballing. Their other lanes are going fine. Tinker's getting his levels. He's not dying. Bottom lane, Clark farming well. And now the pressure.
Are they going to be able to kill him? Solo, he's going to surge out the way. 343, he walks back in. And it's going to be a kill. Ohio doesn't have the sandstorm, and he will go down to the tower. 343 barely lives there, LD, but it's the first big pickup here for the Sand King in that top lane.
If he had just juked a tiny bit better, he would have gotten that one kill. Maybe 343 is then the one that gets hit by that last power shot and dies. It could have been a double kill for Darkseer if the footwork was just a bit different, but instead ends up getting the kill. That was a very risky move by Fnatic, but it ends up paying off.
Right now, top of net worth, although MVP not doing too poorly with the Slardar.
Mushi in a little bit of trouble here. MP diving him. He doesn't have the haste turn active. Not going to commit, though. Currently not sure if those supports can rotate in, so just goes for the pressure. Now he's going to grab the he might tank off.
Got a lot. Oh, mid 1 down bottom, almost going down. Dark Pact, of course, getting low as well, but
he is moving bottom. Mod MP trying to find a pickoff here on the Timber Saw, and he gets scanned.
Wow. Ouch. That is a great scan.
They did see him running to the bottom room because they have a hill ward mid. So they scouted that rotation. They're like, hey, he's still not back mid. Let's just double check. Really good map awareness by Fnatic.
They don't really advance, and DJ just gets caught out because of it. Frostbite, but that might not save him. Another Timber Chain. DJ so low, and he jukes this around. Looks like he will go down to the Whirling Death. It's just, Steam is too slow, man.
I mean, honestly, MP had to spend a lot of time for that. Creeps are now getting at the tower. He misses some CS. I don't think that's the biggest deal for Fnatic. He ends up blowing 2 runes for that as well. The haste turn and the invis, so overall, yeah, you don't like to lose the support. It's going to hurt mid 1 a little bit bottom, but it's not a big deal for Fnatic.
Slark. Delivering crush again, a lot of pressure from Kilo, as well as Jubu. Below half HP, has the pounds if needed. Just trying to see us under his tower, really not having a great time in doing so. This is just a tough lane. We've seen like 4 or 5 slithering crushes already just trying to harass out mid 1. They've done a great job of it. He is not getting free farm, at the very least.
I'm just waiting for that first movement from Ohio. At this point, Bounty Hunter, as the panel mentioned, it's not easy for him to find kills. Honestly, it was surprising they got that first blood bottom, but they did it very early, and they did it on a fairly easy to kill hero on the Lich. But as the laning stage progresses, now there's Frost Armor. Crystal Maiden is looking a little bit underwhelming in terms of her kill potential, so it comes to the Sand King to control the tempo for Fnatic, and The early build from Ohio not rushing a blink, so don't expect him to move just yet. Probably a couple more minutes before he gets active.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see when MVP decide to start running at Fnatic. We've talked about their base first style, of course, with that QO Phantom Assassin, but we keep the similar strategy up here against the team they know the best. Fnatic, question. Here we go, though. 3-4-3 MVP. Are they going to steal the stacks up to the top lane as QO dives bottom and looks like
this is a really big move by Fnatic. As mentioned, they scouted these stacks, so don't be surprised if they try to steal them. How much do they get? It looks like maybe half the stack MP should get the big creeps. They do force 3 MVP heroes to come to this, all the while Ohio's still farming top. I like that move by Fnatic a lot. Just contesting the jungle, denying some of the additional stacks with the Bounty Hunter blocking the spawn box. They're not just going to let MVP play the AFK farm game unchecked. As they see Febby now, they could go on this Ogre.
Heavy, he's getting scouted out. There's the Dota. He's got the Bloodlust, I believe, going for him. Speedy, but there's the Burrow Trick, and they should be able to bring him down. The Caustic, well, the Shuriken will do the job. Dude was here, but he's out of mana after that Frost Blast. Nobody else rotating up. MP thought about it, but decided against it. Heading back down into the lane, so it's just a free kill, and Ohio gets ever so close to that Blink Dagger now to 1,700 gold LG.
I can't stress how important it is that how important it is that Mushi has not died yet this game. He was pressured by an Ogre. He sits at 55 CS, more than the Timber saw, and a lot of that goes back to MP spending a bunch of time ganking, trying to help other lanes. Just now we saw him trying to come to contest the stack steal. Earlier we saw him grab the Haster and then run all the way bottom, get the Invisor and try to gank that lane, only get some crystal mating kill out of it. All the while Mushi is just farming unchecked. These are going to be fast boots of travel if MVP don't move the floor dart soon, they don't apply pressure, and that makes things already quite difficult for MVP.
Or top lane, 3-4-3 scouting him out. Level 5 for the Bounty Hunter, getting so close to that track, and that is an important marker for Fnatic and for them to get a little bit more gold. And they might get it here if they try to make a go on Pref, but he's hitting himself in the tree line rather successfully, and looks like Ohio will just have to settle for the creep wave and his Blink Dagger now as he picks it up at 10 minutes into this game.
It has been scouted. There's a dire observer ward if they were watching, so Forev could be a difficult kill. Let's see how much backup he gets. This is where you want to check, do they have TPs ready? QO has one. He could come to join the fight. Timbersaw also. Diving this tower could be very dangerous, Mod. Darkseer is quite tanky at this stage.
And QO just picked up his armless. They're not rushing that Blink Dagger. Epicenter getting channeled. Here we go. Blinking. Burrow Trick crash below. Sixarkin, they'll bring him down. Nice game. No TP reactions whatsoever, and MVP lose their Darkseer.
Well, they have the ward. I assume they saw the blink, but apparently weren't expecting the dive. Nice movement there. Track, not online yet, but is coming soon, and there's some really cool synergy here for Fnatic. The Track just giving the Thinker that tiny bit of vision he needs to reliably set up rest missiles, also make it easier for him to be confident about where he TPs. Not to mention it makes the Sand Cane and the Slark's lives a lot easier as far as chasing goes. So I really think the Bounty Hunter is an important role to play this game, not just for track roll, but also for the vision, setting up ganks, and allowing the Tinker to more confidently farm. And for MVP, they need to take towers down in a relatively decent rate, at least to limit the map control Fnatic. Right now, though, you look at all these towers, Mod, they're all basically full HP. Yeah. Just now the bottom tower getting slightly chipped on. QO with the armlet will have to be the siege engine. Slardar is not a great tower killer. Expect for him to itemize in a way that lets him hit towers, as I talked about earlier, but it's still taking them a while to really control the map.
Is under attack. They go bottom road. Track is up, Pounce there as well, but here comes the Timbersaw trying to twist around. Really just coming out of the on track as well, and QO is looking for that kill. They will find it. DJ falling QO on the top. Straight is live now. MP's been found, and that might be the track kill that they are looking for.
And they want to move as well. They're going to find that link from the backslide. They get two. MVP now QO on the run. Ohio can track him down. Slardar, Armlet, Hoggle, on by the side, trapped in the tree, pounced and dead. 3 heroes hitting the deck for MVP. Oh boy, now the track's online. So 3-4-3 in that fight really faded the crap out of the Timbersaw. Dodged away from the chain. The Chakram was on very low HP the entire fight. Ends up getting away. The other thing that really hurts MVP, the chain cross bounced the wrong direction. We'll see 4M now caught, but he is able to TP away. With MVP tower diving like that, the one thing they were really lacking there is the mech of the Darkseer. That goes back to the earlier fight top. If he doesn't die there, he has his mech by now. He's quite likely joining the team for that fight, and I think it goes very differently for MVP, but because Fnatic found those early rotations, they got the kill with the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, the previous kill, even before he had the Blink in the earlier laning stage. They have slowed down MVP's 5-man, and having all your towers up 13 minutes in with a Tinker, a Sand King, a Slark, heroes that scale well, that can project force around the map very easily, this is a problem for MVP. They are not in a good position.
Fnatic have a great draft to take them into the late game right now. They're sitting at the top 3 in net worth. Of course, Ohio leading the way, having a great lane top with that Sand King and continue to control the map as well.
And the other thing, Mod, is, you know, because Slardar goes armlet, this is QO standard build. It is a carry Slardar, but the problem is now you have no catch for Tinker. There, in order to kill the Tinker, you have to surge, sprint, you know, run after him, at which point, with all the towers up, the entire Fnatic team should be there in a matter of seconds. You have to worry about running into an epicenter from Ohio, with now a level 2 FE, mind you, as he is already 14 minutes in the game.
I mean, this is before they have the Blink Dagger up on the Tinker, and then it gets even harder, because you're just not going to be able to catch him. You don't have a Storm Spirit, you don't have a Clockwork, no shot in the tree line, no back rider either, which got banned out quite early. This is like the perfect draft for the Tinker for Mushi as long as they stay alive in the early game. However, by breaking up the Tinker, doing a lot of damage. They also get on the open and it's the same one from Ohio. Learn to slow, he will fall. 3 dead quickly, LD.
They want Dubu 2 running down the list. He's going to be the 4th to fall, but Mushi caught out at least FP getting a slight revenge kill, but now it turns the ground as DJ raised down the nukes. Can he finish the job? He does. MVP get 2 cores. They are the biggest ones. The Slark, the Tinker. But you can't say it's worth it when it's a 5-man wipe. And Ohio was ready. They have the vision advantage here. An easy setup for the epicenter. Gets the 2 hero stun. But yesterday he was hitting 3-4 hero stuns, but it doesn't need to be any more than 2. Great epicenter. Already level 2. MVP. Just getting run over at that point.
3-4-3 did so much work in that fight. His shuriken tosses started it off strong and then ended it strong as well. He actually did so much work getting some damage done there.
Yeah, it's a hard support. Even the Crystal Maiden ultimate securing the kill. These are not heroes that are necessarily known for their team fight prowess, but with the start they've had, they can have an impact. MVP, it feels like they've been getting punished now. The third game in a row where super heavy melee competition from them has been dealt with effectively this far. They're going to take a risky move here, Mont. They walk into the Roshan pit.
I think Fnatic have an understanding of what's happening. They'll send the ECT missile in and already queue up at half HP. 3-4-3 in mid one coming in. Throw strike up in the high ground. Hit 3! They will look for 1. Good action, but no waterfall. There it is. It's a little late though. Martin covering for 3. Mid one, he's going to be in the Shadow Dance still. He will retreat for the time being.
But it's just so easy for Tinker here. That next heat seeking missile lands on the Lich, kills him off, then 4S brought down by the 3-4-3 Bounty Hunter. Tinker's just sitting back. It's like a shooting gallery for him, and then Ohio landing huge burrow strikes. They just have no gap close right now. The only hero who can jump on him is Timbersaw with any sort of reliability, and at that point he gets focused by 5 heroes. So the entire MVP game plan quickly coming undone. It feels like after Wings played MVP yesterday, there was a script written on how to deal with MVP, and they go for that same type of draft here. Fnatic fully prepared for it thus far.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic's draft is looking good. They have right now a 7,500, getting up to 10k net worth advantage, and it might be more soon. Mid one with the Shadow Blade ready to go on QO, but he will back away underneath that QO tower. Stop the road. QO was looking for us to drink crush, but instead, they're going to back away together. And it just feels like MVP, every move is being scouted, whether by a ward or by this bounty hunter played by 3-4-3. And they just can't really find anything for this team.
Just look at how confidently they're farming the map right now. When MVP's having a good game, when they've been dominant, you are huddled on your side of the map. You usually don't have tier 1s up at this point, let alone all 3 of them. You're afraid to farm. Tinker's TPing aggressively forward into creep waves. Sand King farming way past the river. On the bottom lane, Slark is just unthreatened. And also worth mentioning, not only is it a good Tinker game, but it's a pretty good Slark game as far as being able to farm safely goes. No blink on the Slardar, you can always just start patch off the amp damage. They have decent AoE from Timbersaw, but they don't have the best catch, so unless he commits everything offensively, he should be able to get out. So all 3 of their cores just feel completely safe to farm the map, and as a result now, we see them really starting to pull ahead. 3 of the top 5 here in CS. MVP keeping up in their own right as far as farm goes, but they don't have track hold, and they certainly aren't going to feel great about their late game chances against this hard anti-melee lineup with Fnatic.
I mean, even supports for Fnatic are getting rich at this point. You look at the bounty hunters just behind Duo and Farm in net worth. That is something that for Ohio has been set up. Forces it up, and he gets the kill on the 2. A double kill for Ohio is now dominating as well.
3, down falls the Lich. Shatters in the bottom lane, and it feels like MVP have lost all control of this game. That array of wards now all around the Roshan pit. Fnatic not very good at killing Roshan, truth be told, so I don't think they intend on taking it themselves. This is much more not going to be giving it away freely to MVP, who do have Slaughter, do have Bloodlust, a pretty good Rosh lineup, but they're not going to be allowed to grab it without a fight.
Dire's structures are
now Mushi has Blink. Slark at this point could be the Silver Edge to deal with the Timber self-reactive armor. Could go into an Echo Saber or BKB, but we'll have another item of some kind soon. And perhaps the biggest concern is Ohio, who has been crushing them. 4-1-9, a 5-0-9 bounty hunter has been providing the alley-oops and setting them up all game from 3-4-3. Once that Ags is online, good luck.
And there's also the little CM Midas as well, which is just picked up, and again, it's looking worse and worse by the minute here, LP for MVP Phoenix. They do get the Blink Dagger for QO, but that is... It's not that great, all things considered.
It could be a game-changing item, but unfortunately Mott, as they smoke, I think 1 or 2 of those heroes at least were spotted, and Ohio's in position. He blinks out, brings the smoke, they chase, and he dodges that one too.
What a slide, Ward gets him away, and Midone says, hey, let's go back in, we're ready to go. We have pretty much every hero here except for the CM.
Fnatic's vision game has been so on point, and this is the power of a bounty hunter who's had a good start.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
3-4-3 is not only getting vision with himself, but the wards that he's placed down, that sentry placement. He just lost one there, but he's going to have the vision to be able to de-ward here without any real issues whatsoever. They're heading bottom. They're looking for a kill onto that CM, and it looks like they will find it. DJ look at that. Duo with that Blink Dagger that he just purchased finally does help get a kill, and it's going to be 4 out taking it.
They're 5-manning though. They're 5-manning into Tinker, and they will be 5-manning into a Sand Cane as already he TP's bottom. Ideally want to pick one of those 2 before you run the tower, or you will get punished.
The dark back to another Duo. That's not what he needs to survive for now. Duo staying healthy, at least for the moment. Midone, he's caught the Shadow Dance. It's time to back away. And Ohio might fall, and he will.
Nice job there by MVP, isolating here and finding pickoffs, but they do have to retreat with the Tinker spam wearing them down. This time 5-manning with the Dark Seer. The mech definitely helping sustain that next level of aggression, and well, this time we didn't see the heroic multi-hero at the center really only damaged the Timber saw in that fight, and it wasn't even with all the pulses. Fnatic, I think, a bit impatient there. They could have waited for MVP to dive the tower more. Instead, they take the fight quite far away from it, where MVP are going to be stronger. Jump the gun, but nothing catastrophic. And notice, even when they give up those 2 kills, Mott, they don't lose the tower. So, still their map control game pretty solid. I want to point out MVP de-warded at least 2, if not 3 of those observers, but there is still one of those, the one that scouted the smoke previously. Up near the secret shop.
They smoked right into that ward to get it. Yeah, they were close.
They're moving in.
Midone looks like he might be the target here. He has the Shadow Blade. He has all of his abilities up, and he will use said Shadow Blade. I don't know if they saw it. They scouted it out. Might have been pinged, and he's also here in the mid lane. Midone will just actually run around looking for a target, maybe support, but he doesn't know that they're all congregated.
Radiant's middle tower is
tier 1
under
tower
attack.
mid.
You de-ward that many wards and you figure, alright, surely they don't have vision here.
Under attack.
But Fnatic, they were ready.
I have to say, MVP with that kill on the Sand King, like you said, and it's not the worst thing in the world. He's still like a 12,000 and worth lead because he already spent like a gold before dying. So Ohio did not lose really anything as far as underlying gold goes. Obviously, he's not farming during that time. It's not the carry ultimately. That's the thing. It's still Clark free farming. As I say, that mid one getting pursued and punished a bit here by MP, but at some point he gets a BKB and he doesn't have to worry about the Timber Saw, which is really their main source of damage for killing Clark in the mid game. And they're starting to get those items that can really change the game. It's the Blink Dagger on forehead, they have the Bloodstone on next to the dodge. Well, the game is certainly not over. Even they have the top net worth hero now. They have the Timbersaw defending the Sand King as well as the Tinker. I don't know how long that's going to be for, since Tinker might eventually get to the top of net worth, but still, they have tools to work with LG, and they're trying to make things happen here with yet another smoke, I think, down in his bottom lane.
Yeah, Radiant did just scan, and a couple heroes walk into it.
Not again. Some good scans for Fnatic so far.
You can just see, like, they want to take the fight bottom, ideally to knock this tower down and then
Radiant's
have better access to Roshan, but
attack.
constantly Fnatic
Radiant
are expecting this move.
structures are fortified.
And Fnatic are in a position to easily defend this. The tower might be
They break
Fnatic.
five.
Now,
Dire's
Ohio's
top
looking
tower
for
is
another
under attack.
slide in and looking for that epicenter, but it's a little too far away this time around. Everyone will back up from MVP, and they will keep that tower alive for the timing when it gets denied, as it was in design range.
This is a very big item. MP grabbing a pipe this game, epicenter. Eventually, quite likely, we'll see the Tinker Ag. It's been a go-to item for many Tinker players. This could be a game changer.
There's one. He's going to scout them out. The smoke is broken. Ohio will blink away. Is Fnatic going to get out yet again? It looks like they might be able to shoot the burst. They're coming in. Now this one actually caught out. Shadow Dance won't keep him alive. Maybe it will. Barely alive with 200 HP LD.
But he pounds out 1 second. Not gonna happen. Gets brought down, and now Mushi on the run. But DJ from the trees turns the dominant MVP back. It's a huge Crystal Maiden ultimate. Brings 3 heroes down below half HP. So 343 tries to clean up. The Shuriken bouncing. Good arm with Toggle by Kyo to keep him alive, though. Now the chase. Can they finish off this Varnar? He's healthy. In for now. SP dropping low. The Brown through. The rocket. The laser gets the kill.
Looking for one of them. Trying to keep you out, and he will make it away. MVP Phoenix, they'll lose 3, and like you said, that CM multi coming out. DJ hitting the tree line in one of the best spots possible. They had absolutely no way of finding him. That ultimate did some serious work, and the damage done mostly by him as well as the Tinker from Mushi.
As DJ playing the hero, you know, he I think at this point his Enigma play at Manila is probably what most people remember from him more than anything. Enigma more known for that playmaking than CM, but my god, he stepped up.
Dire's
This Crystal Maiden has
bottom tower is
6k
under
net worth.
attack.
Compare that to the MVP
Dire's
supports.
structures
Collectively,
are fortified.
they are under 3k. He is almost doubling them already. In fact, a little bit more than that. And at this point now, grabs a Blink Dagger. The Midas is
bottom
kicking in. The
tower
track
has
gold
fallen.
paying off. The only hero staying up there as far as cores go is Timbersaw. And late game, Tinker, Clark are going to have a fine time dealing with Timber. This is not a game where Timbersaw is going to 1v5. He needs a lot of help from the team, and they're just not getting the items to provide it right now.
They need a lot of help from the team, and they need some mistakes from Fnatic as well. Mid one going down a couple of times, 2 deaths to his name, but nothing too significant. At this point, those deaths don't really mean anything. Tinker is picking up his axe as his Aether Lens is done already. That axe is going to come out soon, and then the damage gets even more significant for Fnatic. They'll continue to put the map up. There still are tier 2 towers left alive for MVP Phoenix, but they've only taken 1 tower themselves, and it was denied by Fnatic. MVP Phoenix, they're not really finding much of the map now. Fnatic will go together and smoke.
It is a real weakness in their draft. They're just not that good at sieging objectives. Something the analyst brought up early. MVP can often get around this, but hold that thought. They are smoked. They move towards the pit. QO blinking out as 343 struts in, and the dire scan reveals quite a few heroes now, as well as that observer
Radiant's
ward.
middle
So,
tower is under
next
attack.
item for Fnatic, aside from all these, is going to be a Veil on 343. So you have Pipe, MVP. You think you have a way to deal with our magic damage? We're just going to amp it up a little bit, see how you like it. That, along with the Sand King eggs now, so his Burrow Strike gets even more difficult to deal with this deep fight.
I do like MVP invading the jungle over and over, even if it's not working every time. Still getting these wards down, getting this vision. Is at least
Dire's
something
middle
going their
tower
way.
is under
The
attack.
problem, though, is there's a Tinker. Mushi can go farm the other lanes and be there for fight. So if you have 5 in the enemy jungle, you're getting wards. Maybe you limit 2 cores from farming. None of yours are. All the while, Mushi's free farming, and now as a result, he is the lead farmer. He has an Aghanim Scepter picked up, buys it. So it's the upgraded refracting laser, as well as the 4 heat-seeking missiles. And because MVP are 4 melee heroes, they are likely to be close together, where the laser bouncing will do maximum damage, where they'll likely have vision of all 4, who have to be more on the front lines to be effective. Tinker is going to have a field day. Aether Lens, Veil, set up from the Sand King. If they don't catch Lushi, he will crush them in the fight.
And if that Surgeon cost coming in as well, you've already talked about the Sand King, what he can do. The CM even is starting to kick in with her. Link dagger for DJ. Bit one. DJ. And wow, do they kill him quickly. And Whirling Death coming through.
They also had vision on Ohio. It looks like MVP want to snowball this.
But Drew will drop the ward down. Sentry as well. He's gonna Shadow Walk to try to get out of here. Looks like instead.
That's the ideal there to catch. It's Ohio, but the wall Burrow brings it back, and I think he should be able to blink away if need be.
Close.
The escape mechanism.
They've seen him. Looks like they've seen this bounty hunter. They might be able to chase him down. Q looking for a blink stun, but they don't have any more vision here. The Sentry dropped down again, but 343. Not scouted out with it. He will make it away. He can by TV, but it's on cooldown for 17 seconds. Hiding in the tree line, MVP will see if they really want to go for this. Instead, they will back up. Maybe look for Roche or something else.
Fnatic now recognized there's definitely MVP vision here. That's how they got the initial jump, and that's also how they followed up and almost killed the Sand King. So they begin dewarding. Tinker right back in the action. At this point, Sand King has his item. So if Ohio dies, you can maybe win the team fight, but if you don't win the fight off the back of a Sand King kill, that doesn't really matter. What's going to be crucial for slowing down Fnatic's late game is killing the cores. So far, Mushi has done a fantastic job at not getting caught on Tinker. 5-1 and 7. Not a hero he's known for playing much of. Well, we saw what happened when Fnatic experimented around the Mushi and Invoker that one game. Normally, it's in fact almost always in one who plays. I know Winter's remarked that Mushi's hotkey setup in the past has not really allowed him to play Invoker. Didn't seem comfortable, but this is a hero he's not known for, which he is playing extremely well right now.
The one death, I mean, that's something else. Again, we've talked about it. He had the perfect draft to set it up, though, so he's got a lot of help going his way when MVP can't really catch him, but still, to play at this level and have this net worth and this farm for his team is significant.
They've been dancing around Roshan for what feels like 15 minutes now, MVP. They got the one tier 1, which was denied. Nothing 6. And the thing is, you get the one kill of the CM, it didn't even dent the gold grab. And that's without Fnatic getting the rebuttal track kills. They get one rebuttal track kill, it's going to be another couple thousand gold likely going their way at this point. It is a level 2 track. It starts to add up quickly.
I mean, it's what you talked about. It always comes back to this with the Tinker, just free-farming the map. Yeah, you get the one kill on the CM. He's pretty wealthy at this point. Still not nearly enough to, like you say, put a dent in that gold grab. Mid one is stalking. The Shadow Blade looking around for potential support pickoff, but MVP are playing at 5. They have been for pretty much this entire game, or at least the entire second half of the game. They'll stay together, and again, Roshan was a target for them, but they're pushed back into their own jungle, trying to get some farm, trying to get any sort of gold going their way. This Fnatic were setting at bottom, looking for a pick of their own, but
you just look at the way MVP itemized this game. They got a mech on Darkseer, they picked up a pipe on Timbersaw. He did not go for more of a carry build, not rushing the bots. The Aghanim didn't even get the blink early, now goes back for it and picks up a Blade Mail. They're itemizing to run around as a pack and just swarm on Fnatic and find pickoff after pickoff, but they're not getting those pickoffs. So if you don't find the kills, you fall pretty far behind. So this could be an opening bottom.
He misses the range rush. He does BKB ready for QO. Tracks up 343 in the tree line already. That's going to be the end of it that quickly. They're going to be able to shock it away through sentries there. Firefly will the bounty hunter. It looks like the 2-man burrow coming out, but it will be.
If they chase this, he's thinking about it.
Ohio was going to go back in it there. The 4 rockets coming out, and the march as well from that Tinker. More rockets of threat. Will get burrow struck, and it looks like he might fall again. The CM took it over, but here comes MT. It's going to throw out spikes there. Easy out from the Tinker. They will lose the CM.
Nice fight for MVP here. No track kills, as the bounty hunter died quite early. And he will walk away, but with no track kills and a 2-for-1, it's a 1,300 gold swing, and they didn't even use the Slardar BKB. Really nice fight for MVP. Didn't see an opening for Ohio to get the epicenter, and that's where getting the amplified damage on Ohio is hugely important. Not necessarily to kill him, but just so that you don't get ambushed by the epicenter. They were able to get it off pretty early. Good recognition by QO, and as a result, they avoided that catastrophic team fight turnaround.
MVP, they're inching forward little by little, but again, it's maybe if they can get that Tinker pick off, that's a lot of gold in the bank for them. For now, they're getting dewarded. The gen is up on Ohio, so They're going around together, at least the Slark as well as Ohio were together for a moment, just trying to de-ward whatever they could, and they found a couple of good observer wards to take down. But in the jungle, looks like there's going to be a fight breaking out. QO looks like he missed the stun. Here comes a good one for the rest of the squad. Trying to find another team.
Can actually even get it off, but now Fnatic are chasing him. Rocket's coming in, BKB ready, because he know that mid one's right on his tail.
Mid one just hit him once. That long range burrow coming out with the Aghanim Scepter. More tracks up, but MVP are just running it. It doesn't look like Fnatic are willing to chase this down. And once they go back up, they want to play smart. They want to keep pushing up the lane with Mushi. What looks like a fight that might break out for either team. That could be really interesting.
Duo has been really disciplined with his BKB. I feel like a lot of players would have used 2 charges already with that bottom fight. Looks like it could have been a big team fight. Now here dropping very low, but this man is a master of the armlet toggle. And he also knows the limits of Slardar as a hero. So these will be crucial BKB charges when they're down. He's got to worry about the Tinker slaughtering him in team fights. Eventually, Mushi could see that Dagon build, could just get a Hex and completely chased on him, but they got eyes on MP. They're setting up the epicenter. They go in. He hasn't got the pipe off yet. He's about half HP. Can they focus him down? He missed for the paper chase. He's still alive for this, though.
Duo solo as well. Now they're going to turn their attention back towards MP. Mid one's away from the fight. Duo armlet toggling. Can they bring him down? They're getting Mushi low. Amplified damage for Strike a little bit off the mark. The crossfight will bring him down.
A top target to commit on for Fnatic, but they still come out on top. And 4F out, caught on the cliff, gets Burrow struck, will be dealt with here. The wall drop doing good damage, but not enough for the kill. As Mushi just barely gets away. Again, MVP so close. Yet so far. A 3K gold straight. Now the tower to drop as well.
Under attack. Radiant
Fnatic is able to outlast them in these team fights. And now with everything blown on a Timbersaw that never died.
And MP, like he thought now, is he's been the Timber chain. He looked at the second one, but Ohio is still looking for him. Burrow Strike should be ready soon. He'll try to TP out. Ohio doesn't have it.
Radiant's middle
Not in
tower
time.
is under
DJ was
attack.
there, but couldn't quite get that W button off.
Close call. Those make it out. 13 blood weapon charges on the Timbersaw, so hanging on to that +1. So it's mid one top lane, applying the pressure on Devi. Completely fearless with the Slardar dead, knowing there's really no way for MVP to kill him. Now he'll TP out, and he does so, spitting Devi's face practically, it feels like. Gets away there, and Fnatic just not losing their corpse. Slark fine in these fights, Tinker fine as well. They have 1 death on Tinker, 2 deaths on Slark, who's been up in the front line, 2 deaths on the Sand King. They have 5 deaths between all 3 of them. Meanwhile, the team has racked up 23 kills, so between that and track gold, Fnatic continue to accelerate their advantage. They've still only lost the 2 towers, despite MVP constantly 5-manning. The fact that a tier 1's up when you built pipe and mech at this stage is not generally a good sign for it.
Again, it's that lack of power pusher, lack of objective taker, and really just not dealing with Mushi with any of these heroes. And we've talked about it so many times, but now it's even more. They have the gem up, they have 343, who's already really rich as well. He's got that Veil of Discord to help out against the pipe. They take a 5-on-5 engagement now with that BKB on the CM as well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Over as from mid one as he jumps on Manny, pounces on Stebby. Attack follow up. Should be enough to get the kill granted. Can he get out without having to pop his BKB? Shadow dances away. We'll make it out. With the Silver Edge now, Timbersaw will have to be a lot more careful. MP is the pipe to deal with magic damage, but now physical damage could become a problem for him.
If they have vision on QO like they had the track there, then they just know that the Slark can go in and he can look for that easy kill on Debbie. If there's only the MP follow-up, that's not going to be enough to get the Shadow Dance. They don't have to be able to deal with him.
Yeah, they don't have enough burst damage without QO there to lock him down with the crush and the amp damage. Maybe Timbersaw gets into half health, but he can always just BKB if he needs to and Shadow Dance away. So it's just a dream Slark game, a dream Tinker game. 2 heroes that scale very hard in the late game, a good spread of magic and physical damage. So you're not all in on one thing that Frost Armor can counter by any means. It really does look great for Fnatic right now, and I like their patience. We're still seeing Mushi pushing out lanes. They're not trying to force the issue. They recognize their lineup has tons of room to scale. Even Crystal Maiden now to give a BKB. There is nothing to stop this level 3 freezing field aside from Dash.
It's some real disciplined play.
DJ could be the hero. There's a Veil in this game as well. We're talking so much about the cores, but that's assuming they don't even have to worry about a Crystal Maiden ult.
I feel like for Fnatic, the damage sources are everywhere. Even that bounty hunter as well with the sheriff himself.
Yeah, even the bounty hunter is a bit of a threat.
So MVP, they've been trying to 5-in, and Fnatic have played this so disciplined. They know that, obviously, there are comeback potentials here for MVP. We saw yesterday with Fnatic, they were down, I think, almost 10k gold. They were able to come back. So they want to make sure they don't make the same mistake. And they'll at least get a lot of farm, pick up their BKBs on their cores and even their supports and go from there. Get the big items and then look for potentially Roshan, a pickoff, then the Roach, or a tier 2 tower, which there still are tier 2 left of course, for MVP still standing in the map. Fnatic will play it slowly as they inch further and further towards that Roshan. Maybe a kill on the high ground.
Just not been the pace of game MVP wanted. They wanted to run at Fnatic. They wanted to take a sub 20-minute Roshan with amp damage, with Bloodlust, snowball that advantage. They will now look for the move into the river. So only a level 15 Slardar. Doesn't even have to level 3 amp damage at 38 minutes into the game. Normally at this point, QO is closing on level 20, and now the enemy, it's an airball from up high. No,
all right.
Not what he was looking for. Can MVP take a fight now?
They're ready to go. QO's running forward. He's going to find the blanket, so the reflex misses. No, it hits him this time. Ohio will get caught. There's the frostbite to stop his further aggression. Still has that BKB on the backside, though. Mid-one will take it down to and looking for more.
That's a big part of their team fight, and now they might get a different the bubble coming through. Ready down the previously field combo DJ just slaughtering MVP where they stand. 4 dead. It could be 5. The burrow, the laser. MVP has been dealt with by Fnatic.
That was kind of how you expected the fight to go. With how far Fnatic are, they kill 5 even without the epicenter. They don't need it. This one takes out the back line. And then it's all that damage coming in from Mushi on the Tinker. You'll see the fight here again.
They have all these threats, and then just wait for the Crystal Maiden to come in. They don't even have Epicenter at this point. You can't deal with this. The team fight is way too strong at this stage. And again, heroes, they counter heavy melee compositions. This is now 3 games in a row where MVP have gone forward by melee heroes. Crystal Maiden is great against it with this amount of farm. Tinker with the Aghanim Scepter, fantastic to punish melee heroes, fantastic to punish Deathfall. Slark, just difficult for MVP's lack of pets to handle in general. And Sand King, who frankly, the caustic build, is an anti-melee specialist, so honestly at this point, MVP just seem a bit figured out as far as draft and play, and unless they get that magical snowball rolling and just completely outplay their opponents in the laning stage, it feels like their lineups really lack a plan B going into the mid and the late game. And then on top of that, Fnatic playing out of their mind.
If there were no BKBs on Fnatic, I'd say MVP have a better chance. There's just too many. There's the burst to start things off on MP. Just slow things down, showing that they have potential to bring him down. And he needs to always be wary. Everyone's sitting underneath that tier 2 tower, getting close. They have the track for he might walk forward. And QO, not there, farming the jungle. His one will be scouted. He did have a double damage rune, by the way.
I just want to point out, Mod, DJ has more farm than QO.
I mean, with the Midas, it was bound to happen, but he's finally hit that.
Was it bound to happen? I'm not sure about it.
If the game was going to go this long, it was going to be this one-sided, I suppose so.
But yeah, if it was going to be this one-sided, sure, but that is a horrific sign when the enemy Crystal Maiden has more farm than your one-position Slardar. And
not great.
I mean, Timbersaw is up there. That's nice for MVP, but how much can a Timbersaw realistically do? There is now a Hex on Tinker. He does not have a way to deal with the Hex, aside from just running. And it feels like MVP can just be tighter and then control it. Now they find him, and they've already brought him down a corner. It's going to be half momentarily. Mushi just cycling lasers and hexes. That is your 20k net worth hero. Not even worth the paper that the money is written on.
If he's that far up and he's able to just use all of his spells, that doesn't matter. He can TP back home, recharge, and get ready to go again. Now with him down for 50, they might want to force out a buyback. Again, Roche has yet to be taken this game. I don't think Fnatic really care about Nagus. And I don't think they care if MVP gets one either. They really just want to make sure they take down objectives. And this tier 2 outer tower, the last one of the game for MVP, is about to fall.
They really are bad at Roshin. They have no minus armor. They have a Slark who scales in terms of damage by hitting heroes, not Roshan, and stealing their stats. And oh my god, are you serious, DJ? Now the Aghanim Scepter gets picked up.
You've already done enough, DJ.
DJ, they're already dead. Mercy, please. 30k net worth and rising. The Fnatic showing what, you know, many did expect based on these teams' past matchups, that Fnatic generally beats MVP. I mean, yes, most of the games are online because most of the times the teams have played are online, but they know this team inside and out. MVP have a very specific style. We have not seen them adapting, and this smoke gank really needs to work if they want to get back in this game, Maud.
Feels so desperate.
Unfortunately, it's scanned by the Radiant. MVP just cannot catch a break. It's like Fnatic are reading their mind.
Ohio is in the pit right now. We'll see if MVP decide to go, and he blanks out in time. Ohio again on another level. He throws straight Cubo. He's got the CKD, but it's already at half health right now. Clear tries to find Ohio, but can he do anything with his active? CKD, Ohio will fall. He's got on that action. He's going to come back in momentarily.
Looking for a bit more on the Clark. Playing on the Femi. Mid-one trying to finish him off. DJ, the crystal made it ultimate. He's going to kill off Cubo again. And that's the enemy. Timbers on the run, tracks up, now the Yule trying to hang on while Subu falls in the back. He changed the way to safety, but it's only safety for now because Fnatic, first the heroes, next it'll be the base as Mushi dives in deep with the track vision, almost kills off Forev. They'll burrow through the waves. Even with the buyback, still barely losing gold in that fight, and with the net worth gap is this big, it shows you how much the track can make a difference.
They're not even saving their base right now. He's gonna come in there with the burrows, but they might find MVP. He's hexed up again. They have the middle. They will save him momentarily, but it's just too much damage from this Tinker as QO. He's gonna just try to find his Flurry Crush, but right now, all he's doing is just stalling it. He's gonna get burrows struck, but he will avoid it with the Blink Tag. So Fred caught up with another hex. QO and Fred. They're getting pushed back pretty much into the well, the tier 4 towers underneath the shadows, and this point they will take down a set of racks and maybe more.
Mid-one, poking forward, MVP, like you said, down one lane, but they haven't gotten a couple megas just yet. Mid-one gets caught, he wants to be KD. This team actually Statics and Rising now for the TKL where they get the best. And even that, no such luck for MVP. Oh, that hurts. They just, I mean, already Fnatic is outplaying them, and then even the luck is going against MVP. They've got to be frustrated at this point. Another 5k on Mushi. To go with that, the Slark, 1.8k backed up for him as well. And even after the buyback, Ohio has a soul booster, a potential Octarine core for Sandcane with an even lower cooldown on the Burrow Strike, and the Epi becoming even more difficult to deal with.
They just feel like MVP have nothing left in the tank. And they're going to try to go for Rose, so this might be the last gas for them.
They need this Roshan. They need it real bad.
They have to hex up on the mid-one. It's the Tinker was there. This is another slippery. They get turned down by Ohio.
What a great shot.
That's going to be the refraction. They get the hex up again, and MP was looking to Timbertain up. Kibo's still hunting, looking for at least one target to find. And it might be mid-one. Kibo instead is now on the run. Mid-one is the one hunting. It's turned bad for MVP yet again.
Lotus Orb now picked up. Great way to deal with the amplified damage.
Well, I mean, you can't even do Roche, you know, for half a second without Fnatic coming in and saying, hey, stop that. We're not going to give you any room to breathe in this game. There's just nothing MVP can do, it seems like, without Fnatic there at every turn.
That has been such a crucial part of their game plan, is just never giving up this bottom tier 1 for like the first 20 minutes of the game, and along with that, never letting MVP walk into the Roshan pit. Sure, Fnatic won't take it themselves, but they don't need to. Their lineup feels better in the late game. They have track goals. They're already ahead. They can stop MVP from getting any sort of comeback mechanic here, and they have all game long been a thorn in their side. The MVP game plan really did hinge on Roshan advantage and Snowball, and Fnatic have allowed neither.
Now, this is the beginning of the game. Roshan never been a real option for MVP. They've tried going in 2 or 3 times with little to no success. I mean, they haven't gotten Aegis once this game, and they've only taken down a couple tier 1 towers. In fact, one was denied bottom, the other one, I think, also probably denied mid. I can't remember off the top of my head, but now a Bloodstone picked up for the Tinker. Mana, probably not an issue anymore.
Mushi is looking towards the late game at this point, can replace the Aether Lens with something bigger as the game moves along. Whether it's a Shiva's Guard or Dagon for the additional burst damage, we'll have to wait and see. Fnatic playing this very patiently. They're up one lane of Reds. MVP are known for their miraculous comeback. When you're this far ahead, one bad fight can be an 8k gold swing potentially. So, but I gotta be patient and disciplined. They're waiting on their next item pickups. Now an Octarine. So Ohio with the 8-second cooldown Burrow Strike, 8.25. That is devastating.
This one has found MP, or likewise the other direction. The Burrow Strike is there. Ohio blinks out immediately. They don't have the damage right now. QO wrapping around. Might find a slithering punch for the first time.
But they did get Bushi. He's forced that back for the moment. One is there.
Oh, he's gonna have to pop it BKB. Double yields coming out there. The Burrow Strike caught. This caught too. QO still getting right click down. This one watch this kill. The armor toggle on top. And the Allies sound dance. But no, that could be a big center. The double stun. The K-Bars might be able to pivot, but no, the laser refraction coming out. 3 dead, and it might be 4.
And MVP gets tanked here on the main stage as Fnatic completely figure them out, win in every phase of the game. Vision, Roshan control, early kills, farming, decision making down the stretch. I cannot see MVP coming back with this exact same strategy and expecting to win. Wings might have written the blueprint, but Fnatic have honed it and refined it to the next level.
I mean, Fnatic, they've already looked good so far in this tournament, not dropping a single game on the main stage. But like you said, MVP keep bashing their heads against the wall. So what do you draft then for MVP? Because they